Hey there. So this one is a roadmap for an AI writing assistant or assistant app, but geared towards writing. So I had a look at the classic kind of AI writer. It does have some volume behind it, but obviously I think this is a very competitive space. So there might be some room for a roundup type scenario. I think the easiest here would be to niche down a bit, to target a certain subset of use cases. Maybe not necessarily in the tool, but to position the tool on landing pages as, let's say, an AI email writer or an AI, I don't know, speech writer or something like that, or AI document summarizer and things like that. Just because it's going to be very, very hard to compete on AI writer. Right now, it's like very generic, I think. What I would maybe highlight, because I don't know if a lot of the other tools, I haven't seen that are like integrated into these two tools, like PopClip and Raycast. So maybe something like Raycast AI writer or AI writer for Raycast, that might actually have some traffic behind it. And that might be less competitive, right? Because these two integrations, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know the space super well, so I don't know. But I think those two might be somewhat unique to your offering. And then obviously, I think it makes sense to highlight the presets a bit more and the kind of use cases, right? So you have like certain use cases here, which are, again, quite generic, right? They can be adapted on everything, but maybe there's and that's like in your user data, maybe there's a use case that kind of jumps out. So for example, I don't know, lawyers use this to summarize their 55 Google Docs, right? So if that's very specific, but basically what SaaS for bottom of the funnel will usually do is they'll create use case pages, solutions pages, right? So basically, how can you help lawyers get their job done, if that's one of the user groups, and then position the product in a light where it looks very, very good for a lawyer. And then we would target ChatGPT or AI writing assistant for lawyers or something like that, right? So basically you would target a long tail keyword, very specific, but very much geared towards conversion. So people that will go on there, they will be very likely to, feel at home because they get something that's catered or presented in a light where they immediately understand, yeah, this is for me because, I know this pain point of like, summarizing like my first statement and then do another one or whatever, right? So I think that is something you can investigate. I'm not sure. I mean, this looks maybe, for example, like you might be good for researchers, or it might be good for students, right? So if you have universities on here, or I don't know, entrepreneurs or creative writers, or just writers in general. So it's basically like, okay, how can a writer use this to create a first draft from all their loose notes that they have? Maybe like a technical writer, right? Because like, I don't know what writers use to manage their stuff, but for example, like it's just personal experience. I've like, people in Notion or in Linear, they're very, I'm assuming that you're integrating with these as well, right? So they will be more technical. Somehow can you, look into that, as it's like, okay, how can a developer automatically write pull request descriptions or something, right? Watch out though, that there's like, for all these, I think there's like specific tools that do these things. So you will have to see how you kind of stack up against those. But I think that is something you should lean into, and those features and how they stack up, they can all be their own sub pages, right? Maybe you could also highlight the iOS app in case other competitors don't really have apps for example, right? So that's something I don't know, because I don't know like your competitive landscape as well as you do. But yeah, that's a starting point, I think. And then I'll send this over to you, and you can just have a look, right? All right, man. That's it. Cheers.